day 2 of the 12-day work challenge. Let's get to work. So I've got all my apple trees in. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I haven't filmed anything yet today. Brianna filmed her adventure with Flopsy, as you know. And I have just worked. This little tree is a dwarf. It's an enterprise dwarf chosen for disease resistance. It's a dwarf apple tree, which means it'll really probably not ever grow taller than 8 feet tall. Someone was asking in the comments how long it takes until you get apples. It really depends on 2 things. It depends on mainly on the rootstock. Dwarf rootstocks bear a lot sooner. You can get apples in 2 years. Semi-dwarf apples are more like 3 to 5 years before you start getting apples. But there's another factor as well, and that is some varieties of apples are more precocious, and that's the term used to describe how soon they'll bear. So the rootstock affects how soon they'll bear, but also the variety itself affects how soon that they'll bear. If we're getting apples in 2 years, I would be really happy and surprised. But in 5 years, I really hope we're getting quite a few apples. Something else I wanted to mention, in addition to everything I showed you yesterday that I'm putting under the trees, I decided also to give them kind of a medium release nitrogen source. And this is a pretty good idea either before the growing season or early in the growing season. They say not to give your trees nitrogen after June. You don't want them putting out new growth into the cold weather. So I chose to use some fish meal, kind of worked it into the soil around each of these trees, just to give them a little boost so they'll grow at a nice rate early in this growing season. You'll notice I staked this little dwarf tree with a T-post. I haven't actually tied it yet to the tree, but the stake is there. Most dwarf tree rootstocks don't have the best anchorage in the world. And when the trees get bigger on a windy day or when they're loaded with fruit, the trees can actually break off at the graft or tear the roots out of the ground. So it's a good idea and generally recommended to support most dwarf trees. So I'm just gonna use a T-post, put it in the ground when I plant the tree, and then I can tie it to the post loosely as needed. Here's the 4 other trees I put in the ground today. A Ben Davis. I chose Ben Davis because it's just a classic apple, supposed to be really good flavor. I also put in this Orleans Antique semi-dwarf. Again, the Orleans Antique is supposed to be a really good apple. It's a nice kind of classic antique apple, and that is the full answer for why I chose it. This is a Freedom semi-dwarf. Freedom is one of the best, newer, disease-resistant varieties. And last but not least, this is an Arkansas Black semi-dwarf. It's actually a Stark Spur Arkansas Black. It's an Arkansas Black, which is a classic variety, good disease resistance, great storage apple, good for eating off the tree, good for cooking. And Stark Spur is just a little brand name that Stark Brothers has. This is a variety they've created basically that is a spur-bearing apple, which means the tree actually bears apples all along the branches, not just at the tips. It's supposed to bear more heavily. If you want to see what a spur-bearing apple looks like, just Google it. They just have apples all up and down the branches. I wanted to share a quick note. Wow, it's bright. I wanted to share a quick note on how I planted these trees. Just for any of y'all who are looking at what I'm doing and want to plant your own trees, because I don't want you to copy anything I'm doing that wouldn't be applicable where you live and mess up your trees. Basically, this tree is planted as low as you would want it. So if you live anywhere where it's flat or where water tends to stand on the ground or where it rains a ton, I definitely would not plant trees quite this low. I think I can get away with this. The graft unit is still 3 inches above the grade out here. And also, I'm really on a ridge. I'm on a hillside and on a ridge. This isn't really a standing water type situation. What you're trying to avoid with all of this is collar rot. Yeah. I actually slept in this morning, so I didn't get quite as much done as I wanted. I got all of that done in just a couple hours. And I slept in because I was up late editing a video. Bad farmer, stayed up late. Really gonna try to just focus in on getting my editing time down, mostly by focusing. I still want to put out high quality videos. I still want to edit them. I just need to focus in the evenings. Yeah, that's all I'm doing for today. That's what I'm saying, is that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna call today. I'm gonna go inside, let Brianna take a shower. She's gonna go visit with friends later on. And I'm excited to give her a break. I think I just need to remember that this is a working vacation, but it is a vacation. We're having fun. We're gonna keep working on having fun, but also trying to get a lot done. Tomorrow, I need to find those locust fence posts. I need to get on the phone. I am going to Asheville, so I'll buy 1 load of fencing materials. Day 2 of the 12-day work challenge over.